ethics complaint that was filed against Mark Kvamme today.
I haven't.
Raising some issues of his business dealings and whether he's capable. It's stuff you've heard before about him. Why do these things keep coming up about him, and are you going to keep him in the position he's in now?
Well, maybe we ought to ask why these things keep coming up about him. You have to ask the people that are after him. I can't answer that. I think he's doing a good job. He's not doing a good job, he's doing a great job. I gave you the numbers in 8 months. There are administrations that would just be, thrilled with those kind of numbers. We lost 600,000 jobs in the last 10 years and 400,000 jobs over the last 4. And this is not exactly a good economic time. And, the work on American Greetings, the work on Diebold, the work on Wendy's, the work on Omnicare, this is really good stuff.
Do you think he stands to benefit in the private sector when he leaves your administration?
Well, Mark's an entrepreneur. Do I think that Mark will at some point when he leaves want to be an entrepreneur again? Of course, I think he would. That's his nature. But what he's done is he's come out here and, he's made a huge personal sacrifice to be here helping. And I think you've heard him speak. He's got a lot of goals, and one of them is to, he says, help 1 million people. And, look, I really don't want to react much to this because it just puts more wood on the fire. I think the record speaks for itself. I think it's like 45,000 net new jobs since the beginning of the year. I'm not going to take credit, say I created, because I didn't, but I can say that the 20,000 retained and the 10,000 new are as a direct result of the work of our development team. I don't believe that Mark is here. I'm not going to say Mark. I don't know why these people attack Mark. Ask them.
Can you explain the unemployment rate? Something your opponents keep pointing to. We have had, 3 months, consecutive months of slight increases. Is that cause for alarm, or are we not understanding?
Look, as soon as, of course it's, everything's a cause for alarm. When one person's out of work, it's a cause for alarm. We're into a headwind, right? It's a very tough headwind. And I don't remember. Do you remember the number was when I came in?
9.6.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, of course we don't like that, and I've done calls with small business, the chamber, the business roundtable, thinking about additional things we can do. It appears, part of the deal is that part of the problem is this: we have sometimes you have an unemployment rate that goes up when more people feel they can get a job, so they suddenly start to look. I'm not sure that's why our numbers have bumped up, though. I think we're having a problem with the lack of capital investment, not just in Ohio, but across the country. Companies sitting on their cash because they don't know what the future is going to be. I'm not going to, say, well, Washington, this or that. We are net positive right now in terms of new jobs, or in terms of jobs, job creation. And, all I can do is what I can do and take responsibility for it. There some things that can be done around housing. I just noticed in the Wall Street Journal the other day that they're talking about a way in which we could help people refinance who are current with payments. I like that idea, okay, but I haven't explored it enough. I don't know who holds the paper, don't know, but housing is important to us. I've also been told that not equally important, but these evaluations, these appraisals are important to us. But let me also suggest to you that we have at least a minimum of 84,000 job openings in Ohio. And we'll be talking to you. We're going to be unveiling a program here to try to get those positions filled. I noticed in the paper the other day, Wall Street Journal, that Rahm Emanuel's having the same problem in Chicago. There's unfilled jobs and nobody to fill them. So workforce development is really important to us. I have just put somebody in my office whose job it is every day to work on workforce development. What does that mean? Without going, getting too far ahead of myself here. It's beginning to train people, and if you come out and see me speak sometime, you probably heard me talk about this, because you've been out to hear me. It is about beginning to educate people for jobs that exist and for passions that they have. We should build education around kids' talents and passions rather than to just give them an education that may not fit what it is they're going to do, want to do, and can become. So it involves a much more flexible education system. It involves forecasting from companies to tell us what they need. And to give you an example of this problem, we are trying to get the fracking companies and all these companies to tell us, what do you need? And it is hard to get from them the data that you need so that we can train people. Zane State's training people, Stark State's training people. I want African Americans on the well site. Michael Colbert has been working with Central State on that. But you have to forecast. So we have 84,000 jobs out there. That's an acute problem. It needs to be addressed quickly, and we are moving to do that. Okay, I've waited long enough for this to be fixed. But it's a myriad of problems. These are not simple things to do. And we'll lay out for you, Rob. We should. I've talked to Scott about when we kind of lay out what we're doing, but I think we want to get things in place before I talk about them. It's another lesson, okay? But you have to get people trained. So you got to get businesses in the middle of this, not just for forecasting, but also for real-life experiences. These community colleges need to be more engaged. The four-year schools need to be more engaged. I'll give it to you this way. If a kid can't wait to get home until 4 o'clock in the afternoon to work on his car, why isn't he working on his car at 10 o'clock in the morning? He's sitting in algebra, and he doesn't even want to be there. He wants to work on that car. So I think we need to figure out a way to let that kid work on the car and then build the necessary skills around that. For example, okay, kid, you gonna charge for what you do on a car? Oh yes, sir. Would you know math? How you going to write up a bill if you can't add? Oh yeah, maybe that's right. You going to advertise and let people know you're the world's best car mechanic? Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. You know how to write? You know how to write a sentence. You see, you make education more relevant. I believe this is a very big idea, and I think it is a big idea that relates to the fundamental changes in education. But I'm now starting to get ahead of myself. But that's a good example of the way I think about this. Vocational education has got to stop being bad-mouthed in our not only in our communities but in our homes. Some kids are born to make things, and that's what we got to set them free to do. We'll have a lot more to say about this.